Sometimes a name becomes a legend long before the person behind it understands what's happening to them. Sometimes a single detail, a random dent in a hat, is enough to begin a new era in fashion. Today, we'll tell the story of a man America knew as Halston, and almost no one knew as Roy Halston Frowick, a man who designed clothes as if he were composing music, and who, in the end, lost his most important creation, his own name. But his voice remained. And now you will hear his story as if he were telling it himself.
My name is Roy Halston Frowick. If you think I grew up surrounded by luxury and fine fabrics, I didn't. I was born on April 23, 1932 in Des Moines, Iowa, a place where dreams ended more often than they began. My mother taught me how to sew. For her, it was practicality. For me, it became a language, my way of speaking to the world. At 15, I made my first hats right in our kitchen. Some people bought them out of pity, others because they genuinely liked them. People often told me, "Roy, find a normal job." But I already knew a normal life wasn't for me. That's when I first signed a piece of my work with the name Halston, not out of ambition, simply because Frowick didn't sound right. In 1957, I moved to New York, a place where anything is possible if you dare enough. I was hired by Bergdorf Goodman. It felt like entering a temple of fashion. I made hats by the dozens until one of them changed my life. January 20th, 1961, John F. Kennedy's inauguration. Jacqueline Kennedy chose my pillbox hat. After her photographs appeared in newspapers and magazines, the whole country suddenly knew my name. But there's a detail few people know. Before she wore the hat that day, I accidentally dented it, just a slight press with my fingers while adjusting it in front of the mirror. That dent became a style. The style became a trend. The trend, a legend. And from that moment, Halston became a name. In 1968, I founded Halston Limited. To build a brand, I needed funding, and I took investment from Norton Simon. He obtained partial rights to my name. It seemed harmless at the time. Later, I realized I had signed a document that would one day cost me my future. But back then, I wasn't thinking about it. I was too absorbed in fabric, in movement, in the purity of a line. People call me a minimalist, but the truth is simpler. I just hated anything unnecessary. I changed the fitted silhouette and showed the female body shape by allowing the natural flow of the fabric to create its own shape. Pants give women the freedom to move around they've never had before. They don't have to worry about getting into low furniture or low sports cars. Pants will be with us for many years to come, probably forever if you can make that statement in fashion. The 1970s, New York glowed at night as if the city itself could breathe. Where did I find ideas? Here's the truth. I spent hours watching dancers at Studio 54, studying how fabric moved on their bodies. NASA tested my ultra suede for equipment prototypes. It didn't fit their needs, but the fact itself became part of my story. Sometimes a silhouette began not with fabric, but with a wig. We designed fibers that wouldn't heat up under stage lights. In 1971, I held a runway show with no music. I wanted guests to hear the silk, and silk really does make a sound. By the mid-70s, my brand was skyrocketing. In 1977, sales reached hundreds of millions of dollars. But money mattered less to me than control over the line. Despite my brand's success, my true inspiration didn't come from the studio. It came from New York nights, from Studio 54. It wasn't just a club, and it was a world without borders. The moment I walked in, I knew I had to observe. In that space, fabric moved differently than on a runway. Dancers, light, reflections, all of it created new silhouettes. I scribbled notes in the dark, sketching shapes on napkins. Liza, Bianca, Andy, they were all part of that pulse, and my brand became part of it too. But bright light always casts a shadow. Studio 54 gave the illusion of endless success, but I knew no night lasts forever. And the brighter my fame grew, the longer the shadow behind me became. In 1983, I signed a contract with J.C. Penney. The fashion world exploded. Halston has lost his mind, a high-end designer in a budget chain, but I believed fashion didn't have to be elitist. Good design should be accessible. I wanted to do what would later be called the democratization of fashion, but the industry wasn't ready to tear down its walls. Major department stores cut ties with us. It was the first blow. The problem began years earlier. I had sold partial rights to my name back in 1973. After several corporate mergers, the brand passed into new hands. In 1984, I was essentially fired from my own company. I was forbidden to use the name Halston, even in personal projects. When I came to the office and saw the nameplate removed from my door, I understood I no longer existed inside my own company. It wasn't malice, it wasn't betrayal, just corporate protocol. But that didn't make it hurt any less. After 1985, I disappeared from the press. Too many lawyers were watching to make sure my name appeared nowhere it wasn't allowed. In 1988, doctors gave me an AIDS-related diagnosis. I moved to San Francisco, closer to silence, closer to family. I died on March 26, 1990, at the age of 57. In my last months, I drew constantly, just lines, not collections, just movement. I always believed fabric should live, and maybe in those lines I was trying to bring myself back to life.
Halston is often called the man who created the style of the 70s, but on a deeper level, he created the language fashion still speaks today. He lost his name, but never lost his influence. His silhouettes shaped modern minimalism. His approach to fabric became an industry standard. His ideas live in the everyday clothes we wear now. And whenever we see a simple, fluid, elegant dress, somewhere in its line, Halston lives. Roy Halston Frowick, a man who wanted to make the world more beautiful, and did, even when the world turned away.